And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Songs of Six. Actually, I think what we'll do is go ahead and get a second import depot. So we try to import both furniture and wood at the same time. So we can get the stone mine built. Also, I did promise the end of the last one. Let's get some basic afterlife work going. So we've got a mass grave. Let's get a graveyard. So the graveyard's an outdoor building, so it doesn't matter whether or not we make it square or round. So we'll just make it square. Big thing is we got graves, one side of which wants to be accessible. Let's make this so we've got one full graveyard keeper here. And then obviously we probably want a pathway amongst the graves. And obviously we need a certain degree of respect, so that's what we're going to use. Whoops. Of course the game's going to be like that. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to clear that. Am I putting the wrong way around? You want, hey, are you being blocked if I put you explicitly there? Oh, now you're happy. Not sure why that was the particular problem, but okay. Yep. Right side here is going to be graves, left side is we're going to do decorations to get the respect up. Or do I want to do flowers instead of trees? Flowers considered walkable. No, flowers are not considered walkable. Okay. You know, that'll work. So that'll use one gravedigger to maintain this graveyard. You will have 20 graves, which is probably more than we need for 120 people. Probably more than we need for a lot more than 120 people. Same time, let's try to get a stage going under entertainment. I think this is... Oh, it's just, do I want it square or rectangular? This is, again, it's an outdoor building, so it doesn't matter what shape it is. A little bit of wood, a little bit of furniture. We got the wood and the furniture for that, so let's get that in. And this is us while we're waiting for the animals here to get adults, so we can afford to have more people in. And we're going to swap you over to furniture. Import furniture. And then set a higher limit on the import furniture. Go like 50% of the stockpile. And there we go. Our site's done as well. So that's more fulfillment to keep our people nice and happy. And it's full graveyard fulfillment. Apparently I screwed up somehow and it's only 95% respect, but close enough. And then we do ourselves another service. Apparently I'm having an access problem with the food stalls. Did I overestimate or underestimate how much food I have? I might have underestimated how much food we have. We obviously have enough food days. And, oh, of course we'd get no bonus for food servings because we have it on the base. Well, there is some variability with the hunt. Got some odd jumpers. I think the odd jumpers are going to hunt some of these guys. Go grab us some meat. They're going to run around and go hunt these things, grab them, drag them back. These are bolty crawlers. They're actually worth like 60, 70 each. Huge larvae that prefer dark caves as their dwelling. Don't ask me why these ones are outside. They feed on fungus, which they sweep up from the stone floor. Anyway, that meat's gonna help improve the approval of the society while we're waiting for the food production to come up. Oh, yeah. I suppose I'm getting hammered, but the variability on... Yeah, bad luck. Minus 17% yield from bad luck. Oh, that would track. Okay, so then that probably means the service value of the food stalls go up. Yes, okay. Much better. One thing I will do is I'm going to turn access to clothing off. And we're going to make a clothing stockpile so we can store the clothes. Reason being, when we go to do military stuff, we're going to be making enough clothes to clothe the army, but I don't necessarily want to be making enough to clothe society. Right off the bat. Really, game? Oh, it's because I'm in planning mode, isn't it? I was trying to wondering why, when I go to do the pump, is it not showing me... Oh no, you're supposed to be showing me the overlay. Why are you not showing me the water overlay? Still not showing me the water overlay. The right one. Interesting. Not sure why I'm not getting that overlay. So usually when you do this and bring it up, it'll show you where the limits of the pump location are. Because it's that. This is the map mode I'm looking for. Normally this is the... show that when you're doing pumps. Just isn't doing that today for whatever reason. Okay. Oh, let's turn planning back on then. This sand isn't good for farming, so this is definitely good land to take up with sort of industry buildings and or pumps and or flooding for fisheries. sort of stuff. So that's why I'm planning on a bunch of pumps there, so I know how much of the land I can flood if I want to flood it to turn into fisheries and such. Okay, so that's coming in nicely. Let's go ahead and start activating this stone mine. Get it being built. Obviously, our meat is not adult yet, so we're not going to get a great bowl of food out of that. So the 8 odd jobbers clear the stone mine relatively quickly, relatively effectively. How far up does my janitor reach on the coastline here? To about there. Okay, so I can probably fit like 2 good fisheries in there. To get a little bit of starting food here. Again, the fisheries aren't quite as good as the betty crawlers once we get the betty crawlers growing, but betty crawlers are also a lot of wood. I don't really want to farm wood on this map. See, they were making 100 something. Actually, they were making 1.7 thousand a day. Almost 2,000 a day of cut stone worth of sell value. And while furniture's reasonably expensive... Yeah, furniture's reasonably expensive. Wood is usually reasonably cheap. Although that's the argument to do carpenters instead of... well, import wood and do carpenters instead of import carpentry. Right, because even on our bad days, we've got our recipe is 2 to a half. So 14 times 4 is 56. Right, so the craft value is easily 90 denarii for furniture. There's definitely a lot of value in crafting it. Maybe less so in importing the exporting or producing their own wood. And I'm out of stone. That's not good. Let me get some. Rock clearing underway, so we've got some stone to operate the stone cutter. Otherwise, obviously, the stone cutter isn't working because we've got no stone, making no money to build and repair and stuff. That's why we want to get the stone mine going. Even if we're just trying to maintain, like, stone sustainment on the mine. Yeah, I don't have to micro to get more stone and wood and stuff in. No, mostly more stone in. Yeah, we were being throttled there because I had run out of stone with workload. That should improve. And if that improves, then we make more cut stone. More cut stone being exported means we get more furniture. In the meantime, I've got the wood. Let's return water. And how far up does the generator cover again? Basically, when I run the fishery line up the end of the generator, yeah, up to about there. Yep, that's about right. So I'll do one fishery running up to about here, and then the other fishery sort of on land buildings up here and pushing down. And then hopefully that'll be all the fisheries I run, because we can swap for the battery crawlers at that point. Yeah, that works. We've got the wood for that to be built, so get that underway. Get more food allows us to bring more workers in. Even though these aren't the most efficient, they're 1.4 per worker, so we're going to be able to feed 2 people for every worker. Well, the worker obviously has to feed himself too, so it's almost 3 if you say the worker doesn't, or the worker feeds himself as well. Although right now we're getting triple yield because of an event. Waiting for these guys to get of age. Oh no, they're all of age now. Okay, so we're now getting our full 3x multiplier on that. Our full adult age capacity on that, so we're up to 29 meat coming in from there. Which means we are meat positive because we're fish negative. Actually, no, we might just be positive. Might just be positive. Okay. Wait until the event goes away. Again, we're waiting on furniture there. I'm a little low on stone. Which is, again, why we want to get that stone mine going. Which is why I want the furniture in. You know, let's go out to the neighbors. This is the bigger of the neighbors. I don't need those gems. So let's see if I get rid of all the gems. Take my gems. Take those herbs. Arguably, take the clothing for the month. Because that's 7.71. Exchange, I want you to give me furniture. 3 more pieces of furniture, and we get some stuff out of the inventory that we just don't need. Okay, that's another 10 fishermen working up there. Let's expand the housing center. House another, like, 20 people. And the fishermen, another 9 fishermen there can probably feed 20 fish, or 20 more people. So we're gonna go up to 140. Free up some more odd jobbers. You haven't quite cleared up there yet. How far down does the generator go? Okay, so if I want to do any fishing south of the Big Batty Crawler Ranch, I need another generator. Okay, finish clearing that area out. Build another fishery. Okay. Okay, that's another 7 fishermen, which should, in theory, feed another 20... Well, another 14. Almost... almost 20. That's 20 more people. When it's built. Anyway, without the event bonus, we're not making enough fish to feed everyone fish. Although, that does mean we got, like, a perfect food preference, because people just want fish and meat, and they're getting fish and meat, so they're real happy. Oh, that built real fast. Missing up, because the stone mine finished. There we go. Obviously, I don't have enough people to work 313 jobs. It's down to a more reasonable 10. Yeah, so I could probably safely feed another 20 people with the existing food production. I could at least do with another... Yeah, let's say another 10 on the thing. So let's take another 20 in, and then we'll move on to making more food. Actually get this stone stable, even though I'm not microing it. definitely want to keep moving towards the mountain. This big patch of sand over here. I don't think the sand affects the batty crawlers because they're indoor farm. That'd be under skill, wouldn't it? Yeah, so there's no reference to soil. So these are, in theory, soil agnostic. I think they're even... I don't think they're technically even get a bonus for being in the mountain. I just get a malus for too low of moisture. Okay, so I'm going to queue one of these pumps up to be built. In case I need more moisture over here. And then we will get going on one... Crime. Apparently hit the point where we got a criminal. There'd be a criminal in the streets these days. So actually thinking about water. Put this on planning because I'm not necessarily sure we need it right now. Oh, I'm importing metal, so I can run a culvert. Let's run a culvert. Or at least plan a culvert. We're gonna culvert across the street, let's say. Yeah, culvert across the street. And that's a big street, but that's fine. And then if that's the culvert across the street, which is why we're only planning it for the moment, we're gonna do husbandry, batty crawler, and that's gonna basically be the corner. There we go, so that's about max size. 2,000 large batty crawler plates. Big. Potentially so. There we go. And not enough moisture. So that was the expectation with the sand, is that we weren't going to have enough moisture here. Ooh, this will be expensive. I have planning on still, don't I? I do. Okay. We'll go ahead and check the box anyway. Then if I want to do it, I can come in here and refurb, and see that the moisture is terrible. Anyway, we can figure out if we can get enough moisture without having to put holes in the middle of the building. Okay, so first I need the furniture, obviously, to build that, because I need the pump going. To properly do the moisture. Suppose I can activate a little bit here. But until I get the furniture in, that will not build. Which is fair enough. Okay, so maintenance-wise, I don't quite have enough furniture coming out of the carpenters. There's an argument, and it's a pretty valuable argument, that the price difference between wood and furniture is of such a degree that I am better off buying wood and crafting it into furniture than not. Let's go ahead and grab a couple carpenters. And where we can at least pay our own maintenance in furniture. So we don't have to import the maintenance. And apparently I'm short 20 housing. Because I let people into mill houses. Oh, that's why. supposed to be stone positive, but apparently don't have enough. Although that probably just means I got ahead of myself in the building, right? Or my estimation was based off of a throttled... Although the stonecutter hasn't been throttled, so maybe not. Maybe I'm just running a little bit closer than I had thought on the production and consumption ratio. There we go. So we're going to be a little bit odd job or short. Making 30 fish and 90 meat, so about 120 food overall, which in theory is enough to feed to 240. Although that's not accounting for the noise on the hunters. Yeah, okay, so I'm on the lucky day with the meat. I should probably not assume we're on the lucky day, I should probably assume we're at a normal. So it's 2.2 times 20%. So it's like 2.5 per hunter. So the 16 hunters, well, I would say 8 times 5, right? So it's 40 meat, which is actually enough to feed 80 people, plus, okay. 80 comes from, let's say 80 comes, or enough to feed 80 comes from the hunters. So we're actually looking... I'll probably subtract 14 off of that 240, or 28 off the 240. So probably could support another 50 people and not have a food problem. Okay, pump is running. I don't want that many people on the pump at the moment. Probably don't even need 6, but... Okay. Let's build a canal for the moment. Run the canal up the side of the building. Because I'm almost certainly going to run at least the length of the building to get to stuff past the building. Right now I'm not doing anything in that grain. I should export the grain if I'm not doing anything with it. I'm growing it because at some point I want to make bread for ration making, but we're not making enough to warrant making bread out of it, and I'm a little food tight. So I don't want to expand that production at the moment, so... We'll set up an export depot and set it to export the grain. I'll get a little bit more revenue. It's not worth very much, so it's going to be a lot of export for very little return, but... try to build the houses this time before we let the people in. So in theory, the 6 workers there can pump 150 tiles worth, which is, I think, more than that is. I think that was only 40-something long, 50-something long at most, so got more pumping power than I really need. But yeah, might put a culvert there if I need more hydration than one line, which I probably will. It's a big building after all. Big building. Price is holding up on the Gutstone, which is good to see. Okay, so we got our water running down the end. What's our hydration up to? 36. So that's providing about a third of the moisture it needs. Okay. Oops. How did... I didn't want it activated. Oh, because I got planning off. That's what did it. Spend the job, please. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to copy and paste the culvert. And then we'll do a line of canals along the front there. Oops, I don't need 2 culverts. I need 1 culvert. I need a canal at that point. I want a canal to go all the way. Really game. I'm scrolling up and down, and it's leaving holes because I'm scrolling too fast, apparently. Okay. I did our housing build, so I could probably let another 40 in. I think we've got the food production for it. That brings us up to Prontex. So the next growth I want to do is actually starting to train the army. Because we have training ground, we have the army supply depot. I technically have the stockade for prisoner stuff. So we're going to use the innovation on grabbing the library. We're going to use the knowledge on guards and slavery. Not that we're ready to do proper law and order. Okay. So, making sure I'm on planning mode so it doesn't immediately start. We're up to 61% moisture. Okay, so if I run the irrigation down the other end, that might give me enough. Although the real struggle will be getting enough lumber in to build this. Still won't be fairly... Well, actually, will be fairly cheap because wood is cheap, but... take a while. Okay, and I need a little bit more irrigation, because apparently that is actually more than 150 tiles of canal at this point. So we up to 8. Got even a little bit of time for them to prime the system to get the distance on it, and we can check again. the meantime, I know adequately providing food stalls. Yeah. Proper access proper proximity. No problems there. Ooh, 87% moisture, so it's not quite having the penetration I would like. I think we can do it with just water around the outside, so I don't need any holes. It's close enough along that because I think I can do it, I'm just gonna let it start building. Run the canal up that end as well, and obviously I need to get the mud building in. It'd be a little weird if we left the exterior out. Yeah, with canal all the way around, well, pretty much all the way around, we're a little bit short on the water, so it's not doing the top right this side. We do have enough hydration there, moisture there for it to work. We'll do 2 more. Get us the work crew that we need to keep that canal going. You know, I set up that export depot to export grain. Did we start exporting the grain? No. Got to export the grain. Let's get it set up now. Variety load, so I actually want to drag it down, not up. There we go. You know, I just realized I've been built on top of all the good fertile land in the local area. And then I'm rung by sand, which is worthless. It's going to make it a little bit more complicated to build the grain farms I want to build right now. There's some nice fertile land in here. In fact, this is rich. This is really the sort of soil we want to be farming on, but I'm going to stick to till because the till is closer by. So that at 25 odd jobbers. I'm going to leave the odd jobbers here until we get the boulder crawler breeder going. I think the next project we're going to work on is getting grain so I can make bread, so I can have rations for the army. And then the next project is clothes so that we have clothing for the army. Could probably do with another warehouse. Well, one for clothing, one for grain and such. Well, actually, technically, I don't really need one for grain, per se. Need it for, well, I need it for grain, I don't need it for bread. One thing I need it for, the other thing I don't. Okay. Let's take a warehouse. So, that'll be our grain one. Come back for the... Well, I suppose early clothes I can do off of leather, so I can swap the hunter off if we've got enough food production elsewhere. That's the reason we want the baddie crawler done. No furniture here. We'll take a little bit of fish. Fish is not going to be too bad here. This is mostly here for grain storage. Because the rest of the green sort of area over here is going to end up being grain farms. Almost got all the wood in. It's going to take a little while before it gets effective. Okay, working on the floor, and then they work on the actual pasture walls and such itself. It is a very good thing that pastures don't need maintenance, otherwise a building like that would be terribly maintenance expensive to maintain. And once it's done, we'll be able to check if we actually have enough moisture here. I'm pretty sure we do. Yeah, 100% moisture, 15 people work here. And then we worked out each of those workers, once the animals are adults, should feed 4. So that'll feed about 60 more people. I'll put it there. Want some more housing for more people coming in. And I want to leave some space, obviously, for... more grain farms, which is the other next thing I'm going to work on. Grain into bread, into rations. Okay. Turn the speed down here. Basically... obviously everywhere it's green. It's a good grab. Don't really want it on that sand. Sand is pretty bad. Oh, there's some sand down there. Okay. Try to avoid the sand. Everything else that isn't sand, please become a farm. Some down here or something that is making it terrible. Still, that's rich, so that should be decent land. It's like 98% soil. I guess not all the tills the same fertility. That might explain it. And we don't have quite perfect moisture. We got the culvert, so I could technically run more water over here. The alternative is fill back from the places that have, in theory, worse moisture. And I'll do a mix. I think that's probably... let's put planting on. So that shouldn't immediately build, so I can come back once I've sorted the moisture, or think I've sorted the moisture out to figure out if I've done enough. Culvert. That'll work as a culvert spot. Run the canal. Anyway, that will moisturize what didn't have any moisture pretty well, I think. And of course we can see where the canal is moisture providing out over there. Might technically want to run one little bit down that face, so that face to improve it a little bit for over there, but it's not too bad otherwise. What are we looking at pumping? Put another 2 people in the pump. Technically, it probably would be safer, or, well, work or more efficient if I put more people, or bought more metal and upgraded the pump, but throwing more people at it works. Sure. Okay, so with that, we can see... is the moisture rate? Yes. Activate the job. And at this point, let's turn the export limit down a little bit. Actually hold on to some of it. 50% is enough. And then I have planning on, right? Yeah, I still have planning on. Start planning the next one. little bit of the sand's not going to be too bad. And the moisture is actually pretty good over here, because we're right along the canal. Yeah, moisture is good enough there. We're just going to accept that. Run a canal down there. I need more. Probably will want a little bit more. We run the canal down there. Okay. We'll activate that bit of the canal first, see if that's enough, or if I need to run some around to hydrate the left side here. Oh, I'm on planning mode. No! That's not what I wanted. Not what I wanted at all. Okay. I wanted to harvest some stone, and obviously you can't. If you're in planning mode, you just plan to harvest and don't actually do the harvest, which is kind of not what I wanted. Do we have enough moisture? Yeah. Okay. That's what we wanted to check. So we're gonna have to run the canal out and around. Put on the 2 on the pump for a little bit more power. That field's under farming. We got 11 farmers there, 3 farmers there. Let's see how many farmers this is. Apparently I've got an odd jobber shortage. The animals probably aren't adult yet. No. It's making about 6 food, so I can probably support. I'm gonna spur it. We're gonna say we're gonna take another 10 in. Get us odd jobbers positive. Get the canal going a little bit faster. In the meantime, planning off. Clear rocks. Need more rocks. More stone, and I don't want to put more people on the stone mine right now. Stone mine in theory is maintaining full throughput of the mason, which is good. Planning back on. Check to see enough moisture. 93%. Probably need to continue running down the side there. Oh, interesting. I'm not getting a good projection off of that canal. Is what's going on. Partially. There we go. We'll just accept that. That's got 90% soil, 100% moisture. Effectively, 9 more farmers are going to be on that. Okay. And we're going to go in and activate that. And then with that, we'll do bread into rations for the army. Okay, so we'll get a better estimate once this is operational, but our bonus is negative, so we're losing 24% in yield. So we basically get 3 per worker. So that means we can operate. For every 2 workers, I can operate a baker. And we probably want to probably want to round down by like one or 2 workers. Short a little bit of grain there. That'll be another 9, I think. So let's say we got 20 grain farmers, because we want to like round on 1 on each of the farms. 20 grain farmers. So that means I can support 10 bakers. Let's go make a small bakery. We're in planning mode, so I can basically... Let's go actually scroll into the middle of nowhere, and then when I finish the bakery, I can just copy and paste it to where we want. So, 10 bakers. Is that 10 bakers? That is 10 bakers. Okay, so we want that to be, like, say, the centerpiece of the building. Ideally, we probably want it to be an oval. We can make it ovally. Okay, that should be sufficiently non-round to be classified as... Or sufficiently non-square to be classified as round. That's what we want. So that'll employ 10 workers. At the same time, we're going to want a ration maker that we also want to employ 10 workers. Okay, these have the standard workbench. So only 110, that would work. But that's a bit square. So we need to round it up a bit. Okay, so that's probably, again, by game terms, that's probably not square building. That's probably a round building. So let's copy these back closer to town. These actually might almost be ideal to be in Sandy area. So, and let's go ahead and activate those so they get under construction. Although we'll see if they're round next time. So if you're watching on YouTube, there will be another part up tomorrow. We're gonna record another 2 parts tonight. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. We're gonna take a short break here so we can get up, stretch legs, sip some tea, and then we will be back to record another part. So until next time, I'm gonna wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and/or stream, and we'll find out if those are round or not in the next one. Bye for now.